Howdy, it's Liam Killen. How do you guys like my southern accent? I would wear this hat the whole video, but I mean, that doesn't work. Switch hats. It's Liam Killen, and Arturia just released a new bundle of plugins called Free Modulations that you'll actually use. It's a very appropriate title. It includes a flanger, phaser, as well as chorus. Download links to all three of these are linked in the description. As the title suggests, in this video we're going to be looking at the Flanger BL-20, and I've also linked videos to the other two modulations in the description as well. Each video includes a basic walkthrough of each plugin, as well as my honest opinion. If you're interested in Arturia products in general, I've actually demoed and reviewed other products as well, also linked in the description. These are description mentions in this video. But yeah, if you're on the Arturia train just as much as I am, check it out. As for Arturia's Flanger BL-20, it's a rare studio gem that goes from faint stereo width to out-of-this-world compound modulation in no time, fortified with analog character. We're also going to be trying it out on bass, and I think you're going to be surprised with the results on that one. All right, so here's the track we're going to be looking at today. That little instrument you just heard is the SP404. It's essentially like a lo-fi effects box, if you're into it. Also, the drums from this track are from my latest acoustic drum sample pack called LK Mean Potatoes. If you like the way they sound, pick them up. Download link in the description. To give you a quick idea of the setup, I've added the flanger onto a bus end of a guitar track. That way I have two controls of the overall mix, so obviously in the Flanger BL-20 itself, and then on the bus end. So we'll start by just breaking everything down, and I'm going to explain what's connected to what within this plugin. This button right here, oh, I'm not sure what it does. I'm completely confused. I do not know what this button does at all. I should quit music. We have a mono/stereo switch here, so that's pretty straightforward, and we also have a zero crossing switch. This inverts the polarity of the modulated signal and also delays the dry signal, which gives this like cool sort of vintage flavor. So we have two dry wet knobs here. This is just the regular one, dry wet mix knob. The second one here, this is region, which is the amount of wet signal feeding back into the modular circuit. So that's the first region here. Before actually listening, let's break down the next region, which is manual, envelope, and auto switches. So the manual switch opens up the more complex part of the plugin, which is down here. This is a whole can of worms that we're going to get into in a few minutes. Next we have envelope, which is connected to these knobs right here, and then after that auto, which is connected to these knobs right here. All nice and organized, clearly labeled. Thanks, Arturia. The first thing we'll look at is the envelope switch, so the envelope follower. Ooh. Yeah. That's sick. One simple thing to take note of is that your threshold is high enough so that it's actually activating the effect. And you can see that here with the control mode. There you go. Next we'll look at auto, so I'm going to flick these two switches here. So now envelope is no longer active. So here we have modulation rate. If you want, you can make it rhythmic, so quarter note, dotted to eighth note, you know, all the rhythmic values. And then of course we have depth, which is the intensity of the flanger. Reverse sweep, let's check that out. Ooh. Ooh, that's crazy. Did someone say Mac DeMarco? And finally, we have manual function. This is where you could actually draw in your modulation, which is pretty cool. I would say a game changer, perhaps. There's a high pass filter here, that's cool. There's also a choice of a few preset drawings here if you want to try some of those out. Very rhythmic. If you're using a preset like Rhythm 1, which is obviously very rhythmic, you could actually just take off this metronome here, and now it becomes less quantized. Yeah, you could also increase the intensity here with amount. Might not really be fitting for this track, but it's an option. So we've checked all three of these controls individually. If you want to get really intense with the Flanger BL-20, you could always just flick 2 or more of them on at the same time. I really like the zero crossing mode too. It's a nice vintage flavor. Okay, next we're gonna try this out on bass. If you crank Flanger on any sort of bass, it's gonna give you that sort of 80s prog rock, like Rush effect. This is definitely not that bass tone, but let's try it out, let's crank it. So much better without it. So far I'm not liking this. Let's see if we can make it work though. Let's hear that in the mix. It's very subtle, but there's definitely a bit more attack coming from the flange in the 3K region, so it makes it just sound a bit more clicky. You might even say that it sounds more like a real bass player who's playing with a pick, because that's where that clicky sound comes from. It also very subtly thickens the low end of the bass. It almost sounds more stereo, but the bass is mono. It seems to add a bit of extra air in the low end. And we will cap it off at that for today. Hopefully this gave you a general sense of how Arturia's Flanger BL-20 works, and I hope that it informed your decision if you're planning on downloading this plugin. I encourage you guys to get experimental if you want, maybe use it on drums, on a full mix. It's controversial. I've got lots more content like this. If you're into it, make sure to like, share, subscribe, do all that fun YouTube stuff. If you have any questions, just post them in the comments section. I'll make sure to get back to all of you guys. A reminder that I also have a demo / review on YouTube of the 2 other plugins that are part of this bundle. Arturia's Modulations You'll Actually Use bundle, that is. So that includes the flanger, the chorus, as well as the phaser. So if you're craving some more modulation, definitely check out those other videos. As always, thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope to see you in the next video. Bye bye for now.